EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for March 21st, 2019. For your Thursday, very wet today with a coastal system starting to develop. It's going to bring showers this morning. It's going to evolve into a steady and heavy rain at times this afternoon and evening. And we will have the opportunity to see some areas exceeding an inch of rainfall, especially in the areas facing the mountains here with the orographic lift. We have a southeasterly wind pressing up against those mountains, so that you will have higher totals most likely in these areas right in here on the eastern slopes of those mountains. So elsewhere, generally a little over an inch, inch and a half, something like that. But you might have a little bit higher than that out here in those favored areas with elevation. So this system will continue to progress through our region today, and you'll see it move right over, basically right along I-95, and follow the I-95 corridor north and east. It will taper to showers once we get past late evening and into the overnight, and you might even end as a few wet snowflakes up here in the far northeastern corner of Pennsylvania. And I'll show you that on the NAM high-res feature simulated radar very shortly. That's going toward morning, but most of this activity will end later at night. Okay, so here is the NAM high-res feature simulated radar, and I'm starting this off at 7 o'clock in the morning. Just some shower activity going to be taking place this morning. Nothing really too heavy going on just yet, but then as we evolve into the afternoon, here's a look at noon, and then we get into the afternoon. Here is 2, here's 3, 4, 5, 6, and you see what's going on here. There's some embedded heavier bursts in here with this rain going right up through dinner time, and after that point into the mid to late evening hours. And then you can see here as we get into late evening, you still have some rain wrapping up here in this area. We'll start to pull off to the north and east later at night, and very late here in the game. This is 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and you can see some snow mixing in. The problem, though, is except for elevations above 1,200 feet, you're not going to see too much because, see the 32-degree line is way up here. So it might be falling, but not really sticking in these areas. You might have a changeover mix with or change to snow at the end here in those areas that I circled, but favoring the higher elevations for any coating to 1 inch type stuff. I think that's going to be probably above 1,200 feet for you to see those accumulations. And then once you get past this point, it pretty much pulls away. Again, just these areas up in here, Wayne County, Pike County, Lackawanna, parts of northern Monroe, maybe still getting into some, and Susquehanna, still getting into some snow showers here at this point. But again, the 30-degree line is back here. So how much of this is sticking? Probably just elevations, okay? Same deal here. Okay, and then during the day here on Friday, we're going to have the opportunity for a few wraparound snow showers across the northern portions here. This is, again, falling at a time where temperatures are above freezing, so I don't expect accumulations out of this. It could be one of those situations where snow is falling, but not reaching or falling as snow from the sky. And it's going to get pretty far south doing that. Even further southeast, you might have a few rain showers make it through, rotating around that low as it moves into New England. But I see this falling as snow, not too much accumulating. You might get a quick crop dusting here up in the Poconos and the colder spots, especially with elevation. But there's no 32-degree line here, so it should be falling and then melting as it falls. There's just going to be more like snow squall type stuff, snow showers, snow squalls during the day here on Friday. And you can see that here on the global models as well as we move this through the progression. As we get into Friday afternoon especially, you can see the area is getting those hit or miss showers, and they're going to be, you know, might have the sun come out in between, kind of mostly cloudy, and then you have a, you know, like a snow squall moving through, basically, is what it's going to be doing. But again, the 32-degree line is anything north of this line right here. So yeah, this is all of our area is still shown to be above freezing. So this is probably melting on contact unless you are in a very high elevation where you might get a quick, you know, crop dusting, coating to 1 inch type stuff from that. Okay, going forward, we're going to be very windy, starting to turn windy on Friday afternoon and evening, and it's going to continue overnight. I think the overnight period on Friday is going to be the windiest period, with wind gusts over 40 miles per hour possible. And then once we get into Saturday, probably just the morning for the heavier winds, and then they're going to back off a little bit here in the afternoon. So it looks like overnight Friday night and Saturday morning will be a windy time frame, and then it backs off Sunday afternoon. High pressure moves in, so we're going to be partly cloudy here on Saturday. No precipitation expected over the weekend. Cold on Saturday. Also cold on Sunday. Not quite as cold as Saturday, though. And, of course, not as windy with high pressure moving over top of the region. That'll give us mostly sunny skies. And then once we get to Monday here, there's a couple differences of opinion with how Monday evolves here. This particular model has the frontal boundary off the north. The GFS brings us through and gives us showers later in the day on Monday. So we did keep 40% chance of showers in the forecast for later on Monday with that front, not buying that it's going to be this dry here as shown on this particular model. But the main batch of precipitation looks like it's going to stay off to our south for now. We want to watch this closely, though, because this could, definitely come up further north and present some problems here in the Monday, Tuesday time frame of next week. Otherwise, this is suggesting it stays south. Even the GFS is doing that too. It brings this front through and it has the showers with the front, but then it keeps this system even further south. So we'll continue to watch it. If it's going to be progressive and stay to the south, that's a good thing. We don't have to deal with more rain. But it does venture up further to the north, and we will have to deal with some rain, maybe even some mixing issues with that if it came further north. I don't want to write this off because this system that we're dealing with today, just about 3 days ago, didn't look like it was going to do too much, and then it ended up doing a lot. So, again, watch the poor drainage areas for flooding, and, from some small stream flooding as well today with the heavier rain expected. Then we get past this and get into Tuesday and Wednesday. As long as that system stays to the south, we are partly cloudy both days, seasonably cold behind that front, actually a little bit colder than average as we get into next Tuesday and Wednesday. It looks like the pattern is going to be for the next 2 weeks, 2 or 3 days of cold, then 2 to 3 days of warm, 2 to 3 days of cold, 2 to 3 days of warm. It's going to be a back and forth type of thing until we get into the first week of April, and then we think we'll see something a little more consistently on the warmer side, but we'll see how that goes. Right now, that's what the models are indicating. Whether that transpires that way, we'll see. But this is very typical weather of seasonal transition where it can't really figure out whether it wants to be spring or winter, and it wants to hold on to winter, and then other times it wants to jump right into spring. So you get this back and forth and nothing really locking in for long periods of time, and I think that's what you're dealing with over the next couple of weeks. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for March 21st, 2019. Have a great Thursday.